All right, breaking news minutes ago. He has confessed. The Purge movie theater shooter has confessed to killing Anthony Barajas and Riley Goodrich. Joseph Jimenez has made statements admitting to it and saying why he did it. Is it a ploy to get out of the death penalty? I'm going to read his statements, read his interview. And by the way, this article at newsball.com is going to be updated soon as we obtain the detective's declaration, affidavit, the search warrant, which will identify the three witnesses, the three friends, the three accomplices that could very well be charged along with him. But first, let's look at this. This was days ago. He is seen in court at his arraignment. He looked like a zombie. He looked expressionless, no emotion. Even though he's masked, he just looked blank, like nothing, like it didn't matter to him, as if he was just some trained assassin doing a hit job on these teens.
After getting his first look at the man accused of killing his daughter.
Hey, look at me, bro. Look at me. No.
The anguished father of murdered Corona teenager Riley Goodrich screamed at suspect Joseph Jimenez as he was led out of the courtroom this afternoon.
Look at me,
Like he's just a cartel drug runner, you know, like just being sent to, he's been ordered to freaking just do a mission. He executed them, you know, from the back of the head like Abraham Lincoln was in a movie theater. Here is the article. Here is what he said. He's confessed. The scumbag psycho is blaming voices in his head for the murders, possibly to claim mental illness to get out of the death penalty. He is either putting on an act or was more worried about his car and television being stolen than of the lives he was attacking. Yeah, because a television isn't worth dime a dozen, you know? Like, so ridiculous. Would he really have been worried about that? Jimenez said that the voices had haunted him for 8 months, sometimes threatening to steal his car and television. Jimenez said he was diagnosed with schizophrenia about 8 months ago, but recently had stopped taking his prescribed medication. I ran out and didn't get it refilled, Jimenez said. The voices said my friends and family were going to be killed, said in an interview at the Riverside County Jail in Banning, where he's being held. Jimenez also gave a blow-by-blow description of the shooting, but offered his condolences to the families, saying, I wish I didn't do it. I wish I didn't do it. Why would he have thought that these two teens had anything to do with his psychoness, his supposed psychoness, that his friends and family were going to get hurt, that his television was going to get stolen, so he had to take out these two teens? Get real. This is insane. Is this how schizo people are? If so, they all need to be locked up. But no, schizo people don't go out and commit murders. So this guy needs to come up with a better fake-ass defense. He had gone to the theater with 3 friends who told investigators they were alarmed and snuck out of the theater because they believed he had brought a gun into the cinema and was acting strangely. They were alarmed, but they didn't report the crime to anyone. They didn't warn anyone or report the crime of literally having a gun in California, not having a concealed permit. That left Jimenez and the 2 victims. Jimenez said the voices were so overwhelming the night of the shooting, he couldn't concentrate on the movie, The Forever Purge, a violent thriller. But he added that the theme of the movie didn't influence his actions. Jimenez said he left the theater, went to his car, and got a gun that he had bought online. He was sitting near the back of the theater when he came up behind the victims, who were sitting together near the middle, and shot Barajas. Riley, the girl, sort of jumped, and he shot her before running from the theater. 2 of the friends then said they later saw Jimenez run out of the theater and speed away in his car. A detective's declaration said, we are obtaining this now because it will name these friends. Detectives tracked down the person who purchased 4 tickets. 3 for the people and then Jimenez. The 3 moviegoers believed Jimenez was the killer. The declaration, written to obtain a search warrant for Jimenez's home and other property and filed in Superior Court, for the first time describes how police connected Jimenez with the fatal shootings. The inaction of the 3 friends is being investigated, especially for knowing that Jimenez was committing a crime for illegally carrying a gun and not reporting it, especially the way it was all going down. The detectives wrote that 6 tickets were purchased for that showing, 2 by the victims and 4 by a second person. The 4 tickets were purchased through the cinema's website, which collected the buyer's name and address. That led the detectives to an address in Corona where the purchaser lived. The detective questioned that person, as well as the other 2 moviegoers, the declaration said, who all told him that Jimenez was with them and gave this account of the night. Halfway through the movie, Jimenez left and returned with a bag, which he told them he had a strap in the bag. Witnesses believe this to be a handgun. Like, if you just automatically know strap means handgun, then all of these people, all 3 of them, they're all fucking ghetto-ass gangbanger cartel member fucking trash. Like, that's just common fucking talk, you know? Like, if one guy's saying that to the people he's with, then they all fucking talk that fucking lingo and shit. Witnesses said Joseph was mumbling and talking to himself, which made them uncomfortable. Witnesses said they needed to use the restroom. However, they left the theater, leaving Joseph Jimenez behind. So around 10:30 p.m., the 3 friends left Jimenez alone in the theater, knowing he was committing a crime by illegally carrying a gun and acting disturbed, and yet did not call 911, did not report Jimenez to anyone. About 11:28 p.m., 2 of the witnesses saw Joseph run outside the theater and run to his vehicle. He then sped away in his vehicle at a high rate of speed. The following day, witnesses learned of the press releases of the murder. Witnesses believed Joseph committed the murder. There was no indication in the declaration that Jimenez's friends had called police after learning of the strap. And too bad that these witnesses already admitted to knowing what he meant when he said strap. Apparently, Jimenez called 911 on himself. So these witnesses, the accomplices, didn't call 911 on him, but he called 911 on himself the following evening, being not to confess, rather seemingly so detached from reality, forgetting what he had done the night before, that he was paranoid someone was following him. Maybe he thought to steal his television or car. Jimenez called Riverside Sheriff's Department stating someone was following him. That someone turned out to be a team assembled to arrest Jimenez and serve the search warrant at his home just 2 miles from the theater. And you could click that to see the map, the Google map. The team surrounded the location where they saw Jimenez yelling and waving a handgun. A short time later, Jimenez surrendered to deputies. The generic mass media has not shown the declaration, affidavit, search warrant, and are protecting the names of the 3 friends who are actually accomplices and have blood on their hands. So NewsBall is in the process of obtaining these documents, so these 3 idiots, in the very least, 2 accomplices at worst, can also be named and shown. They are pathetic, weak cowards in the very least. We have requested these documents as well as body cam footage of the interviews with the witnesses, accomplices, and dramatic arrest of Jimenez to the DA, and have paid for them to be mailed to us from the Riverside Superior Court. There's no electronic access for some reason. So either schizo people need to be locked up forever because you can't trust they will take their medication, or it doesn't translate to murder, and this scumbag story is just too convenient to get out of the death penalty. It's also mind-boggling that the 3 accomplices who did not call 911 when Jimenez came back into the theater halfway through the movie, admitting to bringing in a gun halfway through the movie, mumbling and acting disturbed, thereby committing he was committing a crime an hour before the murders. Deranged fucking weirdo comes back in acting weird, admitting to having a gun, and these witnesses admitted that he had the gun. They knew he had the gun. They've already admitted that. Lawyers would have advised for them not to talk. In the very least, these are very pathetic cowards who saved themselves and left Anthony Barajas and Riley Goodrich to die, or they are more of the traditional type of accomplice accessory to murder. We will expose them, waiting on the documents to be given to us so their pictures, their names can be put on blast, and you can avoid these scumbags at all costs. They need a scarlet letter. These are bad people. How do you see your strange, psycho, cholo, cartel member fucking friend leaving a theater, come back in with a gun? They have admitted that they knew he was bringing in a gun halfway through the movie, and he was mumbling and acting strange. And if they really were friends of his fucking fellow trash friends of his, they know he's schizo. If that's a real story, they are fucking negligent, and they need to be charged for whatever lesser offense, if not accomplices, if there isn't more to this story that could be revealed. And maybe this Mexican Jimena Jimenez was also one of the three. Who knows? Maybe she was spending some time in Riverside, you know, was brought into the country for a little freaking influencer manufactured video sesh.